Hello, good evening or morning, wherever it is, what time it is that you listen to my tape. First of all, I want to thank you so much for joining me. And today's discussion will be how to handle slow days at the shop. And you will definitely have these days, ladies or gents. This is a definite um, must. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you, but it is the truth. When you do have a slow day, I have 5 different tips that work for me on a regular basis, and this pretty much, makes time go by pretty fast. Now, what I usually do, the first thing I might usually do, take for instance, I've been sitting down for like an hour and it's been a slow day and I'm trying to figure out, okay, when is my next client coming in? My schedule is not quite booked all the way through that day. The next step that I usually take is I'll take like a 30 to 45-minute drive, just get into my car and just take a quick drive and just to get myself a little less anxious and less antsy. Because sometimes I notice that when I don't leave the shop, when I don't get away from all that quiet, dull space when you've been in there for so long, I notice I always get so anxious to want to go home and just call it quits and just say, you know what, I just come back tomorrow. No, trust me, don't do that. When you leave and you go home, you will always end up with having 2, 3, or 4 clients that will come in the shop asking for you. So don't ever, ever, ever do that. That is a no-no in my book. That never works. You will shoot yourself in the foot. You will hurt yourself. You will lose more clients that way. So I always say, take that quick drive and prepare your mind for when you come back. And when you are actually driving, you can listen to inspirational messages. It could be on your phone. It could be on a radio station that you like. It could be a gospel station. It could be anything that is uplifting, something positive. Because a lot of times when you're down and you don't have any clients, you have that negativity running through your mind saying, gosh, I really need to pay some bills, but I'm not really making any money. You have to constantly feed your mind with positivity. This is an easier way for you to stay focused and stay positive. Tip number 2 is when you come back from that quick drive, or it could be 30, 40 minutes, whatever it is, it's also important for you to have a good handy book when you come back to the shop. Read about a business book, a novel, watch motivational videos or finance books that are online. You also want to constantly keep feeding your mind. And while you sit down, you also want to keep inspiring yourself to be a better person, to grow mentally and to grow physically as an individual. Because usually I feel like when you have a downtime, it's time for you to inspire yourself to keep growing when you keep feeding your mind. That also works for me. It makes time go by faster. Tip number 3 would be to engage in a shop conversation with another barber. This is the easiest one. We are co-workers and we feed off each other as well. So I always strive to strike up a conversation that could be resolved, like a healthy debate between co-workers. It could usually be a topic of politics. I know people always say don't talk about politics or religion because it could be a sure way to create a lot of anger or conspiracy, whatever it is. But I always say as long as it's healthy, we're all mature adults, we talk about and we can resolve our issues professionally, I think having great conversation in the barbershop, especially between men and women, is also an amazing way to also make time go by faster. And tip number 4 would be to think positive. That's tip number 4. Think positive when you are in the shop. When you strike up that conversation and all that's done, tip number 4 would be a very good way to think positive when you come back. A lot of times we can get a little frustrated when the clients are not coming in. And as a result, we have this negative thinking that only even makes you more frustrated. Just say, I know it's a little slow today, but it's okay. It's about to get better. I need you to also visualize them coming in the shop. I need you to visualize, because like they always say, when you visualize, you will eventually materialize. The Bible also said when the people had no vision, the people perished. So let's start visualizing an outpour of clients every day. That also works for me. Now, the final tip would be promote on social media If you have the phone handy, if you have your laptop handy, promote online, promote on social media, or whatever haircuts that you have saved on your phone or any device, a camera, upload it on your YouTube or upload it on your social media page, promote that way. However way you can advertise is very important to keep doing that. If you want to decide to take another quick 5 minutes and walk around the barbershop and pass out some more individual cards, why not? Go right ahead. It's your world, honey. So those are my 5 tips that I use, and they worked perfectly well for me. I don't have as much crazy slow days as I did when I initially started in the game, but I do have a tendency sometimes to have those days when I can sit for like 30 to an hour long. So this tips has worked for me tremendously, and I wish you guys the best, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.